Hey guys, I'm Kimberly Kay here with Broadway.com. We are at Rosie O'Grady's Bar and Restaurant in Midtown Manhattan for a little guy talk with the boys of Reasons to Be Pretty. So pull up a chair, grab yourself a pint, and hear what they have to say. So we're here tonight to talk about Reasons to Be Pretty, which is really a guy's show. It is about relationships. It has really strong female characters, but the story's really driven by these two gentlemen and what they do right and what they do wrong. So we sort of get into what kind of men we're dealing with when we see this show.
Our story is Greg's story, the character Tom plays, and it's basically about really small town life. Guys working nights at a sort of a Costco type warehouse. And you know, maybe about a guy's journey to grow up a little bit.
It's a show about guys, a guy learning to listen. Is what we like to say around the theater.
Yeah.
You know, about a guy learning to listen, how to make sacrifices, how to grow up, which is not an easy thing to do, as any guy will tell you.
What is it about for you, men and women, that they do have such a hard time communicating?
Oh man.
Oh, shit. Open a can of worms.
I mean, you know, the sort of stereotypical dynamic between men and women is certainly what we're exploring in this play, particularly in sort of small town, blue collar America.
But you know, it's not just our culture. You know,
right.
it's not just like a purely American phenomenon that men and women have an impossible time communicating with each other. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
It happens in Italy, Ireland, Britain,
all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something fundamentally different about the way that the sexes sort of deal with themselves and deal with each other that makes that communication a constant struggle. You know, and I don't know what that is.
Well, you guys are both very happily married to beautiful women, so you're obviously doing something right. Would you say?
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say I got fucking lucky.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
I appreciate you saying so. That you know I'm doing something right. I don't know necessarily my wife would agree with you so much.
Believe me, every week, I'm sure I speak for Tom, we're going, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that blah, blah, blah.
And the thing that I had to come to terms with is that she's right. Like, I actually do have to be sorry because I did do something stupid. I did screw up.
The ratio for amount of times I am insensitive to the amount of times my wife is insensitive is like 100 to 1. So for anyone to put up with that really is just sort of good fortune. I mean, maybe your ratio is better. I don't know. But I always feel like, God, I screwed it up
actually,
again.
I'm impressed. 100 to 1 is really actually pretty fantastic.
Yes, that's a high batting average.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I'm in the shit house so much more often than that.
For us as women, what do we need to understand about the way the guy mind works in order to cut you guys a break?
Oh, I know. I have a great answer for that.
Go. What do you got?
You have to understand that it's unintentional.
Yeah.
It's genuinely unintentional.
It's genuinely unintentional. I meant to take the dirty mug and from the sink and put it in the dishwasher. I meant to do that, and I didn't not do it just to hurt your feelings. Yes. I completely just spaced out. It was totally unintentional.
And we only got like one hamster running around up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it gets distracted easily, particularly by sports or itches that need to be scratched.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, any kind of thing, man. We will deviate from the course.
Yeah. I would say a sweeping accurate generalization would be that most of the time it's unintentional when we act like complete jackasses.
One of the themes in the show is sort of this heartache that both sets of couples sort of experience. What was your first heartache, if you don't mind sharing?
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Go.
Jeez.
Can you share, or is it totally not shareable?
I'm trying. It's good. It's this person that I grew up with.
We'll call her Jane. Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
We'll call her Jane Doe.
Very unique.
Right. We were kids, and we were swimmers together, and I fell so massively in love with this girl. And I was a kid, you know, as a little kid. All I wanted in the whole wide world was just to spend the rest of my life with this girl. And like, we went out of town to like some swim meet, whatever. And I had set up an appointment to go and meet her, to have my first kiss ever with her.
Love it.
But my
You scheduled the first kiss?
Yeah, like you do. And
Like you do, right?
And my parents had taken me out to dinner across the street from the hotel, and I was late. My heart was so... She wrecked me, dog.
Oh, man. Remember Brian McKnight?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that song, One Last Cry? One Last Cry. This girl that I had been dating for like a month, she was like the prettiest girl in school. She was a grade ahead of me, and I thought I was like, I'm the champion of the world because she was like my girlfriend. And she had her own phone in her bedroom.
Oh, dude.
So we would talk on the phone at night. And then like 3 weeks after we were dating or whatever, I call her bedroom and I hear like, hello? And I'm like, who's this? He's like, this is Donnie. Who's that? Who's this? And I'm like, this is Steve. Cut to, she dumps me for Donnie. The guy that picked up the phone in the bedroom. Yeah, he went to like the rival high school.
Yeah, see, man. It was
And
like,
how I dealt with it was, remember the yellow cassette Walkmans? I put on Brian McKnight's One Last Cry, and I walked around my neighborhood listening to One Last Cry for like 2 hours. Thinking to myself, this should be worthy of a good cry, but I didn't cry. Donnie from Central Dauphin High School. Meet me at 45th Street. I haven't forgotten.
What sort of mistakes do you think that men make the most?
Taking your significant other for granted. You know, that's a big one, man. That one will burn, and that's like phosphorus, man. That shit will burn hot and long. You know that you can't do that. And that's a really common one. You know, get something that guys.
Like comfortability can be a little dangerous.
Can be incredibly dangerous. You know?
What I have heard from the relationship that I'm in, which is successful, and in other relationships that were terribly unsuccessful, is what women oftentimes need, which we have such a hard time providing, is this. You don't have to fix it. Just let me have my feelings.
Yeah.
This is what I'm feeling.
Yep.
And just let me have them.
Right.
Because we're so, and I've read somewhere women are like very emotionally oriented and men are logically oriented. So if you're whatever, I want to fix it. Let's just fix it so that we don't feel it anymore, as opposed to, I'm sorry that you're feeling that, and that's it. That must be hard for you.
Oh, Chris Rock's got that great bit in his stand-up routine. He's like, you want to have a successful marriage, you want to have a successful relationship, all you need to do is remember this. How was your day?
Yeah.
Because that's a 40-minute conversation for a woman. He's like, you just got to remember a couple of things. How was your day? Uh-huh. Yeah. No, you don't say. Uh-huh. Yeah. And just keep on repeating them, and you're going to be fine.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's awful.
As opposed to, why don't you just blah, blah, blah? Well, if you want to fix it, why don't you just tell the guy to fuck off?
When you go home, have you learned anything from the show? Has doing this show helped you learn how to be a better partner to your wife?
I am learning from doing this show also to listen a little bit better myself, and it's, which is good. It's absolutely essential.
I'm pretty good about really separating work from life, so
And you got to tell me your secret.
I really try to shed Kent by the time I get home at night.
It's a really good decision.
Yeah. Because if even if I'm the slightest bit tonal, I'll get a little bit of like, whoa, Kent. What have you done with my husband, Kent? And then I have to be like, oh my God, you're totally right. I'm still Kent.
Laura, dude, that's so unfair.
Yeah, let me do a yoga pose and come out of Kent completely.
What's the best piece of chick advice you've ever gotten from anybody?
Oh man,
Best piece of chick advice, like,
I got some great advice one time from my father, who said, you should try to do one thing every day to win her over.
oh, dude.
Yeah, one small thing, as opposed to complacency and comfortability all those things that are dangerous. Like one sort of small thing every day, whether it's telling her she looks pretty or... Because, that's the danger in long-term relationships is complacency. So that was good advice, and I don't always follow it, but it's good advice.
My dad also gave me the best piece of advice I've ever gotten in regards, but it was for a very specific situation. It was about our wedding. And my dad said, just say yes. Whatever it is, just say yes. He's like, you'll have the best day of your life if you just say yes. She wants roses instead of tulips? Yes.
Those are great.
Absolutely, honey. Whatever's going to make you happy, just say yes. You know, and that extrapolates out into so many different aspects of life. You know, and that's probably the best piece of advice I've ever gotten about dealing with women.
We want to thoroughly thank you guys for sitting down and doing this and giving us some insight into the male psyche. Because
Yeah, don't take our word for it.
Jesus no.
cheers, congratulations, guys, thank you.
you.